call this meeting of Warrensburg Town Board, December 9th, 2020 together. First item of business, salute the flag. John?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. Obviously, we have a full agenda and anybody who would like to comment on the public hearing, we'll pause. And we're watching the YouTube channel to see if anybody would like to put their comments on that. So the first item of business will approve the minutes of the November 4th, 2020 town board meeting. Motion by Rich, second by John to approve the minutes of the 2020 town board meeting. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Next, we'll have a public hearing on Hamlet mixed zone classification to allow special use permits in this zone. And I'll ask the clerk, can you read the legal ad? You don't have it? Okay, well, anyways, we did post a legal ad in the Post-Star for tonight's public hearing, and this is to gather information from the public on the potential of allowing special use permits in the Hamlet mixed zone classification. Is there anybody on YouTube who would wish to comment to the board tonight about this public hearing? All right, I'll ask Jim or Patty, would you like to address the board on what our intent, or anybody from the board, would you like to comment what our intent is and why we want to do this, potentially do this?
I'll give a crack at it, Jeff. We've had a businessman in town wanting to put storage units on a piece of property he owns on River Street, East River Street. And it's right now that the zone or the classification doesn't specify or allow those type of structures. So we've had legal counsel look into it for us and allow what's called a special use or special permit to allow that with restrictions, of course. And so this board is looking to entertain that and allow that to happen.
Any other board members wish to comment? Well, I'll just add to that. Our planning and zoning office has researched other communities. We have local laws from the town of Lake Luzerne. We have the information from the town of Queensbury. And then obviously we have a lot of information off the state websites, the state information on special use permits. So this is a fact-finding public hearing tonight to get any information for the public. And then my game plan next is after we close this public hearing tonight, pro or con to any comments, we will schedule a workshop meeting with our town attorney who handles our zoning and planning issues in very near future to discuss how we want to formulate our special use permit for the town of Warrensburg. Because these special use permits can be tailored to whatever the town board feels is right for our community. So, hopefully we'll take the best of two laws and we'll pick out the best things we like about it and try to craft a special use permit law in the town of Warrensburg that works. And then one of the most important things we need to do here is make sure that anything that we want to adapt, we don't hurt ourselves or cause other pain to our other codes in the town. So we're starting small. I hope that we come up with a good plan. It will take a few months. It's not going to be something that's going to happen in the month of January and maybe February and March before we finalize this. But at least we're moving ahead. We're trying to come up with a time. And most towns do have the ability to issue special use permits. Any other comments from anybody else? Jim, would you tend to comment? Wish to comment on it, or?
No, I think that you gotta start out small and see how it goes and then come up with some rules and regulations if the board board decides to allow them to issue special use permits. I mean, what I read, according to the state, it's up to the board to make the decision whether they're gonna even allow them to do them or not. It has to go through the board, the town board's review, any special use permit. And then it goes to planning and whatever, but, I think they should be on a case-by-case basis. Not a blanket policy.
Sure. Patty, any other comments on it?
Not at this time.
You know, I thank him for, you dug out, you have a lot of homework here, we have a lot of stuff to go through, and I think the next function of what we wanna do, we'll sit down in a workshop with our zoning and planning attorney, and then we'll try to devise a permit that we feel that would be functional for the town of Warrensburg. Keeping in mind that there are other zones in the town, so we have to be cognizant of what we're doing for the overall good of the community. Any comments in YouTube?
One person had said, our zoning ordinance was intended to be a living document. It's nearly impossible to see upcoming uses. Special use permits allow us to have an extra layer of preserve.
Extra layer of preserve, I don't understand.
Can you repeat that? I just couldn't hear you.
It says, our zoning ordinance was intended to be a living document.
Right?
It's nearly impossible to see upcoming issues. Special use permits allow us to have an extra layer per view.
Okay, very good. Positive. Yep. Anybody else? Any other comments? I'll leave the public hearing open for a couple minutes and we'll go right on with the rest of the board meeting, and then just in case somebody else comes in late. So the first item of business, read town clerks.
First monthly report for November, marriage licenses, $17.50. Photocopies and faxes, $33. Certified copies, $130.
That was Brian.
Landfill fees, $18,879 or $97. Punch cards, $480, bringing a total for the landfill of $19,377. Dog licensing, $140. Building permits, $42.75, bringing total shares remitted $19,740.25.
Okay. Supervisors report for the month of November. Total monies on hand, $2,175,183.76. Assessors report.
Analysis report, analysis of sales that have occurred during the last sales cycle is currently underway. As follows: reviewing and analyzing the selling price compared to the assessed value at the time of sale, including other factors and sale conditions, may or may not have impact on validity of any given sale. During the next few months, we'll be working closely with the Office of Real Property Tax Services, utilizing the outcome of these sales to arrive at 2021 equalization rate. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to extend my very best wishes to everyone for Merry Christmas, happy and healthy and COVID-free New Year, and a great holiday season.
All right, did we get a I didn't get a justice.
I got justice there.
Do we have a justice report? I never got.
Go ahead, Reed.
Yeah, go ahead. Make sure I get
Justice for October, Justice Fisk, her 99 cases, collected fines of $7,150, fees of $240, and surcharges of $4,040. Judge Winslow, her 59 cases, collected fines of $3,582, fees of $350, surcharges $1,960. Total new cases in October were 113. Total dollars received in October, $17,322. Town share for September, $5,882.
And I was notified today by the justice that they have shut down the courts, again, the town courts, because of the COVID spread. Dog control.
Dog control. We received 2 calls from the same person about a loose dog on Mountain Avenue. And We gave out a citation to Nicole Virgil on 12 Second Avenue for dogs that were not licensed. That's it. In brief, that's it.
Planning.
There are 4 land use and development permits issued in the month of November. December 1st, planning board approved site plan review application for Bernie Baker for a boat storage business at 570 Schooner Road. Zoning board does not have a meeting this month due to lack of applications. Director permitted, back order.
Enforcement. Somebody want to read that?
I'll move it. I'll take care of it. For November 2020, work draft language for River Street project is asked by supervisor. And a complaint regarding blocking the sidewalk, 13 Mountain Avenue, garbage cans. Lieutenant General for supervisor has asked for December meeting at firehouse. Set warning notices to owner of collection bins, 3836 Main Street. That was owner of 13 Mountain Avenue. Septic inspections at 875 Schooner Road. Help dog warden Brett Moulton on the case. Responded to numerous complaints. 14 Skylar Lane. Received an email from a woman who represents the owner of the collection bins at Tops Market. Proposes suggested local code for control and placement of any donation bins. Complaint of garbage on Marion Avenue blowing around the neighborhood. Check all town streets between hours of 3 and 6 a.m. November 18th, 23rd, 25th. Overnight parked vehicles placed notices on total 67 vehicles which were parked on the street. Advise them the upcoming annual parking ban, December 1st to April 1st, 2021. All license plates photographed will be compared with future violations during the winter parking ban. Send a warning notice to owner of the 19 Marion Ave garbage. Send a warning notice to property owner 3861 Main Street. There are no commercial inquiries or applications for the month of November. Submitted, James Hall.
Okay, is there any other comments on the, no? Okay, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing at 7:13.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by John, second by Donnie, close the public hearing. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Patty, for coming tonight. And our next item will be that we'll go into having a workshop when we start to look over this stuff.
Okay.
I appreciate you being here tonight. Highway,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Don.
We've been very busy most of the month hanging all the Christmas banners and snowflakes throughout the town. We continue to brush out Bailey Pond Road in between projects and nice weather. We also have helped the town of Claremont blacktop and haul item 4 to their landfill. We've repaired and washed out culvert on Hillcrest Drive and changed the pitch of a bad corner on Pucker Street. We have taken out a big beaver dam on Bailey Pond Road to alleviate any flooding roads. Hope everyone has a healthy and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Respectfully submitted, Ted Pettit.
Landfill,
Landfill, the board still, we're in the red by $3.15.25. But again, we're holding our own, get the scales paid off, good things will happen. And of course, the landfill, it looks exceptional up there, well run. It's a really refreshing place we have in town.
historian. Want me to read it? All right, I'll read it. I'll read that, somebody's gonna read museum.
Okay.
Okay, visitors and inquiries. Email for Travis Morehouse, Timothy Hill, and wife Esther Grandy. Was able to find information on the death of Timothy, 1856 and 57, and Esther died in 1867. Or Timothy died in 1856 or 57. And oldest daughter, Phoebe Hill Wallace, died in 1906. Request from Wenceslaus Historical Society for Wheeler's marriage in 1846, did not find anything. Obituaries, Annette Ale, Mary Alice Swears, Catherine Moppy Bolton, June Springsteen Slater, and Thomas C. Needle. Meetings, continue scanning firemen's photos, putting them in notebooks and entering them past perfect program at the museum. We'll be using many of these years for next year's anniversary of the fire, many of these photos for next year's anniversary of the fire department. Continue going through old scrapbooks and updating files, met with the existing members of Thurman Historical Society. They have decided to turn over all their accessories and paperwork to our historian. They will soon be receiving them and seeing what is needed. And that has happened. The town employees went over and collected all the artifacts from the town of Thurman and brought them to Warrensburg. And Sandy has been going through them. Completed the second chapter of Memories of 75 Years, which will appear in the next issue of the Warrensburg Historical Society Quarterly. Continued collection of COVID-19 articles and information. Zoom meeting of the Historical Society on November 2nd. On Tuesday, December 1st, the Thurman Historical Society officially dissolved, and 4 of the Warrensburg town workers, along with 2 trucks, met me and Steve in Thurman, and we loaded more than 30 boxes along with large artifacts such as the spinning wheel, butter churn, woodworker's bench, clamp, yarn winder, Athaw post office mailbox slot, and other small items. My office and museum will look like a abandoned building, but we have started to put things in order. We'll also be receiving monies which will go towards the necessary boxes and photos and shelves to put all the items in. A great big thank you to Thurman for this major donation and to Tracy Benoit and crew. Hours 36.5 museum hours 13 volunteer hours 3 days by Dot Langworthy, Sandy Parisi. You're up, Donnie.
Okay. Attendance at the museum has been sparse, perhaps attributed to the pandemic. Fact is, we only had 3 fewer than last year. As a result of the conversation between Sandy and members of the John Thurman Historical Society, now dissolved, including Thurman's town historian, Joan Harris, its entire collection of artifacts, photographs, and historical records has been transferred to the Warrensburg Museum and Sandy's office as appropriate. This was accomplished Tuesday, December 1st, with the assistance of 4 employees of the town of Warrensburg's Parks and Recreation Department. 2 of their vehicles, as well as Sandy and me in our van. Our thanks go to the town and Tracy Benoit's crew. As you know, Thurman's history predates that of Warrensburg, which was split off from the town in 1813. Their society's collection is comprehensive and detailed and will enhance our knowledge of our town. It will also require many hours to examine, catalog, and archive. Upon reopening the museum in the spring, we will feature Thurman's collection with gratitude to those who labored over many decades to collect and preserve their history. Several of their artifacts are now on display throughout the end of the year. We were open December 5th and 6th from 10 to 3 during the pandemic version of Christmas in Warrensburg. Total attendance was 11 visitors. Several came to purchase books for gifts. Others for special Christmas in Warrensburg postal cancellation this year performed by the Athaw postmaster. We held a drawing for the sampling of Warrensburg raffle of gift certificates from Warrensburg businesses, most of which the society had purchased earlier in the pandemic. First prize won by Katie Dunn, Warrensburg Central Class of 1955, at a value of $1,000. Second prize worth over $400 went to Warrensburg residents Mark and Diane Murray. Also, be reminded that the last day for the museum until April will be Wednesday, December 30th. Many thanks go to the town of Warrensburg for its support of the Warrensburg Museum, and my very best wishes for the holidays and a better new year in 2021 to all. Respectfully submitted, Steve Parisi.
The Parks and Rec, I'll read that one. Fall cleanup was finished for the season. The equipment used was cleaned up and put away for the season. A new furnace was installed by town employees at the transfer station garage. The big project this month, though, was getting the Christmas lights and decorations up for the season. Larry Crandall and Joe Phillips worked hard with the assistance of the other guys in the water and sewer departments, and it was done in a timely manner. And again, I can only say thank you to Tracy's crew, led by Larry Crandall and Elf, and this is no kidding, Joe Phillips was an elf at one time.
He was.
And we probably have pictures to prove that. But anyways, I want to thank those guys and thank the rest of the town crews. They've been very responsive to making sure Warrensburg has its place in the North Country. And we also have maps that were printed up by the, what do you call it, Johnny?
GIS.
GIS in Warren County, they printed these maps. We've made copies, we have them in a few of the stores. And then what it does is it lists all the locations where you can see Christmas decorations, and it starts down coming into town, and we try to work our way up to the upper end of Hudson Street up by Mark Bruce Park. But if you go up Hudson Street, it's very nice to see that the big tree across from Bruce Park on a private person's lawn is decorated. It's probably, 25 feet tall in front of Belden's resident. You go around to a lot of the side streets. I think everywhere in town, everybody's gotten a spirit of Christmas. So I want to publicly thank the residents tonight for joining in to help make our town look good. A lot of people are commenting. It's nice when you go into a store and somebody stops you and say, hey, the decorations really look good. And the most people you wouldn't suspect are stopping me on the street and saying, wow, things are looking good. We'll continue this as long as we get support from the community, which I think we have. And again, couldn't do it without the town crews, and I really truly believe they have bought into this. And I think they're proud of their work. So if you see them out there, it doesn't hurt to say, nice job, guys, and keep up the good work. That's the Parks and Rec report. On the sewer, we'd like to welcome the newest member of the sewer department, Kevin Gillingham. He brings great mechanical aptitude that is needed in our department. The UV disinfectant system was pulled for the year, and parts lists for repairs and replacements were made. We pulled the sludge pump and winterized the dredging equipment for the winter. We also did oil change on the air compressors and repaired several aeration chains that broke free. Also, in the sewer department, we have started working on replacing the screens down there, which we think will help with the items that come in through the sewer plant, mostly rags and things that get in there. We have new screens going in. That project has started. You'll see later on in our agenda that we're going to establish a capital project for that. And that should be done this winter. Most of that is inside work, so we're happy about that. And then the water report, we had 4 meters removed and water shut off for the winter. 4 customers were shut off at the street for repairs. 1 call for a squealing water meter. Found a bad pressure reducing valve on November 7th. We were called out after hours to shut off the water at 9 Warren Street due to an emergency. When shutting off the water at the street, the valve stem broke and we had to dig it up and repair it. On November 11th, we did the water tap at 1 Orton Drive. We also called out on November 29th at 2:30 a.m. for a structure fire in the Griswold restaurant. Wells were put on manual operations to supply water and suggested to pump out of the river to reduce the stress on the water system, which was done. And the dry hydrant and the fire company that pumped out of the river worked remarkably well. We never had a blip in the water supply. And Tracy also wishes everyone a happy holiday season. Communications. Harold Moffett has resigned from the Zoning Board of Appeals. Effective date was October 21st, 2020. Anyone interested in serving, please contact the supervisor's office. Also, I received a letter of resignation, and I'll read this one. Supervisor Gary, Warrensburg Town Board. December 31st, 2020, I will be retiring as town justice. The past 10 years have been rewarding experience for me. There was a great deal to learn, and hopefully fair and unbiased decisions were made from the bench. I was happy to plan and apply for JCAP funding to use for the improvements to the court and town hall. I hope someone will continue writing this yearly grant to benefit the town. If you need help finding a replacement, I'm happy to help. And thank you for the opportunity to serve the town of Warrensburg. Regards, Brian H. Winslow. And a motion to accept his resignation with regret. Motion by John. Second by Donnie. Any discussion? And I'll ask Pam that we send both of them a letter, especially Brian with regret. And I will say, Brian has actively been seeking a replacement for his job, and I think we'll have something before the end of the year, somebody who at least can temporarily fill in, so we have 2 justices working in the town. So, and then there again, Brian's gone up and beyond what he's required to do. He's been a bright star for this town hall. We're gonna miss it because we're not gonna get bagels anymore during the holidays, but, and he really has taken care of all of us in this town hall, and he's gonna be greatly missed. So, unfinished business, we had originally wanted to have a meeting at the firehouse on December 16th, but due to the increase in COVID, we're going to have to do it on YouTube. And so what we've done is we're gonna change it to 4:30, still on the 16th of December, which is next Wednesday. And we're going to do it right here at the town hall. It'll be via YouTube. And the purpose of this meeting is to go over planning and zoning issues that we had today to see if we could start to make changes to some of our zoning and planning things. Again, workshop session, this will be the starting point, and then we will take the proper steps to enact any of these changes that we want to make. So I ask anybody in the public or anybody within the building, I have a list that Jim has given us, so we're gonna work on that. And now I need a motion to establish a capital project for the wastewater treatment plant effluent sewer district screen project. It'll be an H10 capital project. The cost of the project is $214,000. So somebody want to make that as a motion? Motion by Rich, second by John to establish capital project H10. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. And I'll be happy to say we did ban the amount of money, $214,000. The interest rate was 0.75% from Glens Falls National Bank, which is a pretty good rate. So that would help. Okay, I'm gonna let John speak to this next thing. This is about purchasing and upgrading our street lights to LED lights. We've talked about this for about, I say half a year or so. And now we finally have some movement from, I believe it's at NYSERDA or
New York Power Authority.
New York Power Authority. So I'm gonna let John go into it. We're not gonna do anything tonight. In your packet, you have the information. I want you to take it home and study it. But go ahead, John, tell me where we
For
are.
about 5 years now, we've just kind of kicking ideas around that a lot of municipalities have been converting to LED photo cells. The prices are finally coming down. National Grid is encouraging it. Of course, the Power Authority is really stepping to the plate to allow municipalities and help us do these things. And the dollar amounts are looking better. As far as the balance of the savings with the energy savings compared to the fixtures you're purchasing, and the two of them are coming together where within a payoff of 8 or 9 years perhaps, will be a positive for the $50,000 to the good instead of spending $80,000 a year on just energy that we're spending on National Grid. So it makes perfect sense. In your packet, you'll see that the analysis that the representative from Power Authority went over with Kevin and I on a phone conversation a couple weeks ago. And they're big numbers, but then again, if you looked at the analysis of not their interest rates of 3%, I think we can do a lot better. This is just very conservative figures that they put together for us. So to come up with some meat and potatoes as far as we move forward. But we have 495 fixtures in town. This is to replace all of them. All in our display district will replace, and we would own these fixtures. We pay a small portion of National Grid to put our fixtures on our poles. Very, very, hardly anything, within cents of it, all it is. They consider everything, take everything into consideration as far as the contractor that would be maintaining the fixtures for us in case there's car accidents hitting poles or trees down. These are all parts of the program. It's all included. And the biggest enhancement I found was that all these lights will be on a computer. The entire district will be on a computer where you can see every single fixture on a computer map. And we will be able to turn off certain lights we want to, power down certain lights we want to. It's just incredible technology. Glens Falls, maybe read last month, they're spending $1.5 million to do the city. We'll be spending $500,000, right, to do ours?
About 569.
Right. But it's just, I've been looking at this thing for about 5 years, and we've been talking to several different vendors that wanted, from private vendors that we didn't want to go with. But the New York Power Authority has really stepped to play that thing. So I'm all for this. I'm excited that we should want to do this. So take it all, look it over. If there's questions, it's Casey Mastro would be happy to answer any questions. He might even be listening tonight. He thought he would be. So if you have any questions, we can get Casey on the phone. or you can call him or email him, and he's a straight shooter to help us with this, and then like I said, Kevin and I will hopefully get some endorsement from the town board and move forward.
I think the one item about this, if we wanted to control the lights and say, power down some of the lights at, say, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, not take them off, but power them down to less, less lumens, I guess that's what they call it. We can do that. We'll know when a light is out.
Incredible.
We won't have to go around every quarter and look to see what street lights are out. We'll know that automatically, and I think the technology is there. I think it would be better for the town of Warrensburg, and we could certainly, make the town safer by having these lights on, and if we need to power them up, we power them up. We have ones that people really don't want, we can power them down, where, you don't have to go through rigmarole of a resolution and then going to National Grid and get them to take a light down if somebody doesn't want it in front of their house. And so I just think the technology, I think it's a good chance for us to catch up with the technology. And as far as the cost go, I'm thinking when our solar panels are in place and we're generating revenue off of them every month, maybe we can use some of that revenue for the solar panels to pay for some of the streetlight project in the future. So, we're going to look at every avenue and we're going to get creative. As I said, the band, you have low interest rates now. I think it is a good time for us to tackle this project. So, and I think the savings, if you did save $20,000 to $30,000 a year, and then you pay it back over 10, 15 years, I think we could pay it off in short order. But I think it's time to move, and but we'll discuss it more at our next meeting.
Last night I drove around 2 hours, and I do it twice a year to look at the entire district. I picked up 9 lights last night. So I report them on their website, National Grid website. And once again, it'll say yours truly is doing that. I go to a computer screen and find out what it, so consider that also.
Next item of business, we received notice that Glens Falls Animal Hospital is no longer handle stray animals. There's mostly stray dogs for us and a few cats on occasion. So they've decided they no longer want to handle this. Thanks to our dog control officer, Brett Moulton, he's been around. Brett serves as not only Warrensburg, but most of the surrounding towns. It looks like we're going to enter into a contract with Countryside Veterinary Medical Group, which is on Queensbury Avenue, Queensbury. And what I'm asking for tonight, because I don't have a contract drawn up by the county attorney, is a resolution request to allow us to enter into a contract with Countryside Veterinary Medical Group to hold stray animals, which will be in a form or set load to the town attorney and the supervisor. So I'm asking that if we move forward with this, December 30th is the last day we'll have any time to enter to do this. So I ask somebody to make a motion by John, I need a second by Donnie to allow us to enter into a contract with Countryside Veterinary Medical Group to hold our stray dogs. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, next, because Christmas in Warrensburg was canceled, I need a motion to rescind our oxid tax award to Warrensburg Beautification Incorporated for $3,500. I have been in reach with them to tell them, and they expected that we would do this. So a motion to rescind that, and this is done for bookkeeping purposes. Somebody want to make a motion by Rich, second by John, to rescind the oxid tax award of $3,500 to Warrensburg Beautification for Christmas in Warrensburg. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution request for oxid tax from Warrensburg Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $1,042.17. This is for advertising expenses that the Chamber of Commerce incurred with the world's largest garage sale. These expenses started out in February, not knowing that the garage sale was going to be canceled. She has turned in itemized bill. I'm happy with this. This is an offer advertising expense. So I need a motion to pay the Chamber of Commerce $1,042.17. Motion by Donnie, second by John. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Next, I need a motion to accept the Town of Warrensburg employee policy. Every so often, we have to update this policy. It's been 6 years since we've done anything to the policy, so I'm asking with one resolution to update the policy and the, not just the policy, also the holidays for the town of Warrensburg. It'll be 12 holidays this year, so somebody want to make that
So,
motion?
yeah.
Motion by John, we have second by Rich, to approve the town of Warrensburg employee policy and the town of Warrensburg holidays for 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay. Okay, next item of business, resolution request to put the 2002 New Holland tractor model TC40D as a surplus equipment for the Parks and Recreation Department, and also dual 750 CMM blower assemblies from the wastewater treatment plant, the sewer department, and classify both those pieces of equipment as surplus and advertise to sell them on Gov Deals. Motion by Rich, second by John to make these both surplus equipment and advertise on Gov Deals. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay. Cemetery transfer. John, would you like to discuss this a little bit?
Sure, we've completed the packet from our attorneys between the board of directors of the Warrensburg Cemetery Association and supervisor of the town to transfer all properties and monies to the town. It's been a lengthy process, with COVID getting away, it really slowed things down. But we're making progress, with a quick claim deed, we'll take care of these issues. So very soon, we'll have the deed recorded and the property and all monies that are in trust will be towns, and there'll be a town cemetery.
And we'll set up a separate account for all of this, and then we'll hire a part-time employee to work the cemetery like they have in the past. Probably we'll hire the same employee who's worked up there. He's in tune with what needs to be done. We'll add him to the payroll, and the payroll will be paid out of the cemetery account.
Yes.
So that will be coming hopefully either at the end of this year or early next year. Also, I need a motion to schedule a year-end meeting that will be to pay the bills on warrant 13. We do this every year. The meeting this year could be held on December 30th at 4:30 p.m. The basis for the meeting will be mainly to pay warrant 13, but to conduct any other business that may come in front of us. So somebody want to make a motion to approve this meeting?
I'll make more.
Motion and a second by Donnie. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, just please set your calendars. It's going to be 4:30 on the 30th. Also tonight, just before the meeting, I got a email sent to me by Stephanie McBath. She is the communications director for Congresswoman Stefanik. And New York State was awarded, $99 million for broadband projects. And in her email, she lists a bunch of communities that are underserved by broadband projects in the town of Warrensburg. There are 700 locations near the town of Warrensburg, which should receive funding out of this package. And she lists many towns in her, the 21st Congressional District. I want to personally thank Congresswoman Stefanik. I did call her before the meeting, and she called me right back, and we chatted a little bit before we started this meeting. So this is a huge benefit for New York State, huge benefit for the 21st Congressional District. Warren County towns on this list: town of Warrensburg, town of Stony Creek, and let's see, I guess some of the hamlet of North Creek. So this will be important to us, and this will help improve broadband. And again, I thank the Congresswoman for going back for all of us in New York State. We desperately need this. So again, thank you. Also, I don't know if you read the Sun, but we've been having a lot of vandalism up in the what we call the Klondike area, the Townburg Avenue, Ridge Street. So I reached out to Tom Randolph and said to Tom, can you please publicize that we have some vandalism going on, and not just there, but we've had a timer stolen from the Veterans Park off the Christmas tree. down there. We've had the lead course going off the Judge Bridge before we even got it plugged in. So, it's disconcerting that we're trying to do what's right for the community. I'm very happy that I gotta say the public has reached out. I've asked them to call my office. They are calling my office. We have gotten hold of the police. I have appealed to the Sheriff's Department. I have appealed to the New York State Police. And I'm appealing to the parents of these kids that may be doing this. Please, please, you need to get a grasp on what's going on up there. Your neighbors don't like it. And you can control it by talking to your children. And you gotta start doing this. But I can tell you, from where we sit here as a town board, we will not tolerate it. We went through this once before, we're not gonna go through it again. The police have the ordinance for the curfew. It's 10 o'clock during the week, it's 11 o'clock on weekends. We've asked the police to start sending kids home if they're out. You parents need to know this. You are responsible for your children. It's not all on us, but I can tell you right now, your neighbors are tired of it. We're tired of it. So we're going to do everything we can to nip this in the bud. And if you think we're kidding, try us. Because I can tell you, I don't think there's one person on this town board that wants to get a call from a constituent that something's happened to their lawn or something happening up there. So I'm serious about this. I want to thank the people for reaching out to us and continue to reach out and continue to call the police. You need to call the police department because we're going to stop this before somebody's going to get hurt. Pulling grates off of the storm drains is not funny. Opening up storm drains is not funny. So you out there who are doing this and think it's funny, it's not. And you better stop. Swearing at adults is not funny. They don't deserve it. You're gonna stop. That's my rant about that. And I want to thank Tom Randall for working with us because the message got out there and as soon as he posted it, we're getting calls back. So that's good. Any other questions about that?
No, but 10 years ago, we had the same issues and we installed a neighborhood watch. And a bunch of us were going out 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was a lot of work for old people, but we did it and the issue went away chasing these little people around. So we don't want to happen at every point.
I'm appealing to the parents. Know where your kids are. It's not funny. And if you get hauled into court, shame on you.
They shot an arrow into a guy's house up there.
That's correct. An arrow went through a neighbor's house. It's not funny. Running the four-wheelers on the streets is not funny. You're gonna hurt somebody. If you think we're kidding, just challenge us. Keep challenging us. That being said, the next item of business is to do 3 budget modifications. I'm gonna make it quick. First one is to pay for unemployment benefits in the amount of $1,530. The second one is to increase refuse and garbage fees by $31,699. That's a very good thing. We're taking in $699 more revenue at the landfill than we had planned for. That will cover all our expenses for the balance of the year. And the next will be to receive $9,455.63 in conservation funding, which Eddie used to put in the grass pavers at the highway garage. So those are budget modifications, if somebody wants to approve those. Rich, second by Donnie, to approve the budget modifications. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Next is budget transfers. I have a list in your packet. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 budget transfers, 5 budget transfers in the general fund. And this is routine at the end of the year to true up certain accounts. Somebody want to make a motion to approve the general fund? Motion by John, second by Donnie, to approve the general fund budget transfers. We have 1 budget transfer in the highway department, 2 budget transfers in the sewer department, and 1 budget transfer in the water department, and we'll do those as all one motion. So is that a motion by Rich? Motion by Rich, second by Donnie to approve the budget transfers in the highway, sewer, and water departments. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. The total warrants on warrant number 12, it's high this month because we did pay the retirement costs for the year. It's $298,102.52. Somebody want to make a motion to approve the warrant?
So moved.
Motion by John, second by Donnie, approve warrant number 12, $298,102.52. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any comments from anybody on the board tonight?
If you everybody's read the latest Talk of the Town magazine we get for the board, there's a good article on cyber theft, cloud-based storage. Well, we're a good read as far as malware, ransomware, and how the municipalities are handling that. And perhaps someday we need to do a cloud storage. We got to talk to Mike Calvin about that. That's just to take all our information off-site and have and hire a company to manage our data, because it's really a bad place when it comes to what people are, hackers are trying to do to our space. So cloud's where everybody's going with it. Good read, and this latest magazine, so feel free to read that. And Merry Christmas.
Donnie?
No comment, just Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Someone would like to know, what do I need to do to try and start a motion to get a no engine braking zone added to the south end of town on 28 as they cross the bridge by Trailer Park and McDonald's?
I guess send us a letter. Yeah, we'll take it under advisement to see where it goes through. I'm not familiar with that. It's no Jake break, is that what they want?
No engine brake.
Jake.
Yeah, Jake. Okay, tell them to send us the information. If they can send it to the supervisor's office, and we'll look into it. I think once before we did that.
Yeah, we did look into that.
And I think there's,
It didn't happen for the state near the highway.
yeah, I think there's something, but we'll look into it. Tell them to send us the information. Any other comments on YouTube tonight? No. Well, again, I want to thank the board. I want to thank the residents. Like I said, I think any of our shortcomings will net by working together. And I'd like to wish everybody happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And I'll see some of us back here on the 30th to clean up whatever we have left. And I thank everybody for their efforts this year as a board. I think we made great strides, and we're going to continue to make great strides. And we certainly got homework in our packages. So thank you, everybody. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Rich, what's the address on Thompson? What's the nearest address? It's like yours, doesn't matter. We gotta have an address on there.
Workshop next week.